on the campus of Purdue University Mackey Arena, hosting a big women's basketball game today, including the defending national champion Texas A&M Aggies, who come into this matchup unbeaten against the Purdue Boilermakers. Starting lineup for Sharon Versup's Boilermakers will feature Brittany Rayburn, who continues to lead this team in scoring as she has done over the past few years. Courtney Moses, KK Hauser, and on the inside, Sam Ostorello and Chelsea Jones. Texas A&M returns 3 starters from that national championship team in Sydney Carter, Tyra White, and Adora Alanu. Adrian Pratcher will run the point, and Kelsey Bone, the transfer from South Carolina, having quite an impact, leading this team in both scoring and rebounding. And we are just about set for the tip. Great atmosphere here inside Mackey Arena for this Big 10, Big 12 matchup. Purdue takes control of the tip, and they will put it in the hands of KK Hauser to start things off. Hauser drives baseline, kicks out to Rayburn. Her shot off the mark, and now we'll see what Texas A&M brings to the offense.
Well, Purdue starting out in a man-to-man. We're going to have to make sure that they force Texas A&M into taking jump shots. They've got to be able to defend that penetration.
Sharon Versup, head coach of the Boilermakers, in her 6th season here at Purdue. Alanu driving the lane, loses the handle, but the ball will stay under the basket for the Aggies. There's Bone, driving against Jones, has a shot initially blocked, somehow gets it back and keeps possession, and still the Aggies are going to get another shot.
Well, Purdue's doing a good job of collapsing on the penetration. They just can't quite come up with the loose balls.
White has it taken away. This time the Boilermakers do take it, and they'll take it quickly down the floor. Courtney Moses. Rayburn taking it into the basket, off the glass, no good. Bone with her first rebound of the game. Alanu lets one go. Still scoreless. Neither team been able to get into a rhythm offensively yet.
Well, and Purdue has to be able to come up with the defensive rebounds. They had a tough time rebounding the basketball at Duke on the road. Now they're at home. They're forcing the shots that they want. They've got to be able to finish the defensive play.
Big rebound inside for Bone, who gets the putback in the first basket of the game.
And Gary Blair told us how important it's going to be able to get offensive rebounds. But Purdue being able to push in transition, get easy opportunities themselves.
Quick answer by their leading scorer, Rayburn. Another tip pass. Boilermakers really have gotten a lot of hands in the passing lanes early.
And coming back off of that made shot, going to a matchup zone, the 1-2-2. Texas A&M really worked offensively against this zone in practice yesterday.
White from the corner, no good. Hauser had the rebound but lost it. Pratcher now. Rayburn looking up quickly to Hauser. She'll stop, pop. Runs off the rim. What an effort for the rebound by Sam Ostorello.
I think that's a possession right there that KK Hauser has to attack the rim. She's got a quickness edge on Adrian Pratcher. She had a lane to the rim, go to the basket, get a foul, or get a layup.
And I know we talked to Sharon Versa before the game. She was pleased with the way her team fought and stuck to the game plan against Duke, but it did appear a lot of times in that game Purdue was settling for those outside shots.
And that's one of the areas that this team is really going to have to get better. They have to force the action on the offensive end. Nothing's going to come easy for them offensively, so they've got to be able to take advantage of getting to the paint, of getting to the free throw line. They're a very good free throw shooting team.
Rayburn looks inside to Jones. Not usually a big offensive player, but she gets that one to go down.
And one of the areas that Sharon Versup was telling us they must establish a post game, and they're going to have to do that by committee. Nice look inside.
We have our first foul of the game. It was a great look by Pratcher. Brittany Rayburn picks up her first foul. And that will send Tyra White to the line.
And Tyra White's a player for A&M that was a go-to scorer for them last year, but really was able to play off of Danielle Adams. Danielle Adams was the go-to player. Everybody knew that she was the go-to player. Now defensively, people are worried about Kelsey Bone inside, Tyra White outside. And Gary Blair said she's got to be able to step up to that challenge. She can't just blend in, and I think that's something she's really working to adjust to so far this season.
White averaging 12.7 points per game this season. Gets the second free throw to go down for her first point of the game. Hauser driving the lane, has it taken away by Carter. But there is a foul against the Boilermakers.
And an offensive foul, if not for that charging foul. Sydney Carter probably had a layup on the other end. But for KK Hauser, one of her greatest strengths is her quickness and able to push in transition. But she's also got to learn to have better body control, be able to deliver that pass.
And the putback for Bone gives her second basket of the game. And A&M a 1-point lead. Moses been quiet.
And you're going to see Texas A&M switch those guard-to-guard screens. It's a nice backdoor cut. Purdue has to be able to look for those.
Rayburn knocks it down. She hit 5 three-pointers in her last outing against Duke. Tied a season high. Boy, if she gets hot from the outside, that certainly is good news for the Boilermakers. And Kelsey Bone dominating the boards, but doesn't get the second chance opportunity. A travel call on Moses will give the ball back to Texas A&M.
And turnovers are a concern for Sharon Versa. Texas A&M is a team that forces nearly 25 turnovers a game. If you're going to turn the ball over, you want it to be a dead ball situation, but when you're playing a team that scores points like A&M does, that gets a lot of possessions, you want to make sure that you give yourself an opportunity. And that was a tough call right there on Courtney Moses, but Purdue has got to maintain possession and give themselves an opportunity to score the basketball.
Texas A&M just 2 of 11 from the floor, but they have 9 rebounds in the game. Nearly another one, but this time they're going to call Tyra White with going over the back. So Purdue with a 2-point lead in the early going. Brittany Rayburn getting hot from outside. Purdue with a 2-point lead early over the defending national champion Texas A&M Aggies in this Big 10, Big 12 women's basketball matchup. Jen Hildreth alongside former Purdue All-American Stephanie White. And Stephanie, we knew rebounding would be a key to this game. So far, A&M's pretty dominant on the board.
6 offensive rebounds, and they have 4 second chance points. That has to be a concern for Purdue. You get them to take the shot that you want. You've got to be able to finish the play with the rebound.
Hauser with the ball. We'll see a couple different players run the point for the Boilermakers. She's stuck now, though. Gets in trouble, but is able to knock it off Sydney Carter.
Well, Sydney Carter is going to continue to pressure the basketball. KK Hauser's got to keep her dribble alive. You've got to be able to make the pass. If you can't make the pass, you got to keep it alive.
7 on the shot clock now for Hauser, who pulls up from 3, and it's good.
Tough shot. KK Hauser with the hand in her face. Made shot, slows A&M down. It allows Purdue to get into their zone pressure, take time off of the shot clock.
Just the 4th three-point basket of the year for Hauser, who is 0 for 6 from the floor against Duke. So encouraging for her to see one go down early. Tyra White with the drive in the lane. She doesn't find anything. And Antoinette Howard, who's in the game for Purdue, has the ball. Hauser again driving, runs into a lot of traffic, but finds Alex Guyton. 6'3" senior in the game for the Boilermakers. He's battled some injury problems, but Karen Versup knows she's going to need her on the floor. Pratcher for three.
One of the luxuries that Gary Blair has is Sydney Carter, who can play multiple positions. She can bring the ball down the floor and facilitate offense. And that takes a little bit of pressure off of Adrian Pratcher, who's starting for the first time in her career and really understanding what Gary Blair wants offensively.
Pratcher taking over for Sydney Colson, the great point guard on the run to the national championship for the Aggies last year.
And Sydney Colson was one of those players who knew exactly what Gary Blair wanted on every play. She was a four-year starter. And now he's got two young point guards in Adrian Pratcher and Alexia Standish as well. They're really trying to learn the system.
Coaches can get spoiled when they have those point guards that know exactly what they want. The Aggies have also gone to their bench for a couple of substitutions. Carla Gilbert has come on the inside. Shot clock winding down. 5 remaining for Pratcher, who hits back-to-back threes.
Adrian Pratcher is one of those players who doesn't normally take a lot of shots, but she's got the ability to knock it down. So it's another luxury for players that average double figures, but you have Pratcher who can also knock down that three.
Oh, the pass inside, swiped away by Carla Gilbert. She gets it up to Alanu, off the glass, no call. And the Aggies open up a 3-point lead.
And Purdue does want to establish that inside game, but that's an awfully tough pass to make when you're trying to make a bounce pass, an interior bounce pass across the lane.
Dee Dee Williams has come off the bench for Purdue and gets whistled for the travel. This week on BTN.com, don't miss any exciting hoops action. Go to video.btn.com and check out our upcoming basketball schedule. Go to video.btn.com for more information. There's Alexia Standish. You mentioned one of the young point guards for Gary Blair and the Aggies. Finds Carter in the corner. Hauser quickly up the floor to Jones, and she draws the foul.
Chelsea Jones, nice hands to be able to rein that in. If you're KK Hauser, you've got to know you got to give the ball to your big girl where she can go right up to it. And Chelsea Jones able to corral that ball, and Lexi Standish just a little bit late. But that's one of those, if that's a turnover, Coach Versup is right in KK Hauser's ear saying you can't give your post player the ball in that position.
Kind of put her in a tough spot, but Jones able to break an 8-0 run by the Aggies. She is 2 for 2 from the line. 75% free throw shooter coming into the game. And we've got a 1-point ball game. Oh, nice look inside by Carter, finding Gilbert. Good hands in the lane.
And a nice use of the left hand by Gilbert.
Rayburn's shot in the corner, no good. A quick pass. White wasn't ready for it, but still manages to somehow get it back. Finds Carter, who draws the foul. Oh, looks like actually it's going to go the other way. Brittany Rayburn drawing the offensive foul. And
what a special run for this Aggie team.
You can see their run to the national championship. The teams they took down, pretty impressive list there, especially those final three with Baylor, Stanford, and Notre Dame.
And a game-winning layup by Tyra White to defeat Stanford. And then a comeback win against Notre Dame. But again, they turn it up with their defense. This is a team that is not great offensive talent. They're talented, but offensively sometimes they struggle. But when they can create offense from their defensive intensity, that's when they're at their best.
Gary Blair talked about being able to speed teams up, make them uncomfortable with that press. As Carla Gilbert finds the backboard and the inside of the net for 2. She has 4 points in the game now for the Aggies. Purdue hanging right in with the defending national champs. Moses has been quiet early in this game, had a big game against Texas A&M last year with 26 points.
Well, Gary Blair talked to us about the fact that he wanted to keep Courtney Moses in check, and A&M's just doing such a good job of attacking the paint. They're penetrating passes, penetration off of the dribble. They're getting easy high percentage looks.
KK Hauser trying to answer on the other end for Purdue. No good, but they do get the rebound and another chance. And there's Courtney Moses. Her first point.
And second chance opportunities. If you can't find it on the first one, you've got to be able to give yourself another opportunity. And Chelsea Jones able to come up with that good offensive rebound.
Standish still in at the point for the Aggies. She's got Moses all over her. The defensive pressure rattles things a little bit, but Texas A&M will keep the ball with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Osterello checks back in the game.
That's one of those plays right there where Standish makes the play to the wing, and on the trap, she's got to be available to be an outlet. She just kind of stood. That's a young player that's really learning the flow and the understanding of the game.
Little difficulty getting the basketball inbounds. The crowd wants a violation.
Great defensive effort.
Get it.
A great defensive effort. Purdue is a team that defensively they lead the league in points allowed and field goal percentage defense. They do such a good job of pressuring the basketball, of getting in passing lanes, and really making their offense hard.
And that's a pressure-filled situation for a freshman, too, to have to be standing there on that baseline trying to find a good option. And Standish didn't see anything she liked. Boilermakers get it in quickly. That's Chantel Poston, who just checked into the game, loses the ball. Poston, a 5'10 junior from Milan, Tennessee. Croucher seeing some open floor in front of her, finds Carter. Misses everything, but nobody blocks out Tyra White. This possession's still going on for the Aggies. But then they step out of bounds and give the ball to the Boilermakers.
And Purdue very fortunate that A&M's not able to convert on many of these offensive rebounds, but they've got to find a way to box out every possession. That rebounding when you're in the middle of a rotation is tough. And right away you can see A&M 15-7 on the boards.
Purdue out-rebounded for the first time all season in their last game against Duke. It was also their first loss. Pretty little move by Pratcher.
Turnovers for scores, and Sharon Versup immediately calling that timeout. Not happy about the way Purdue is running their offense right now. It's one thing when you turn it over and it's a dead ball, A&M has to walk it up, but when you turn it over for scores, you feed exactly into what Texas A&M wants to do. They want to get the ball in transition, they want to push, they want to score off of turnovers.
Turnovers for touchdowns, if you will allow a little bit of football terminology to come into play.
And points in the paint. A&M does such a good job of attacking the basket. They force a defensive rotation, which allows offensive rebounds. Carla Gilbert, nice move inside, playing off of the screen and roll, which we saw them work yesterday in practice, the high-low. And Gary Blair told us this is the first time that I've had true post players on my team since his days at Stephen F. Austin. It's the first time he's had true post players, and he uses them so well in the high-low, in the on-ball screen situations, and they're finding them early.
Jones at the high post, picks it up, gives it to Guyton. KK Hauser will launch from 3, no good. Ostarello and Alanu got tangled up underneath the basket. And Ostarello will get whistled for the foul.
Great box out by Texas A&M. We saw them working in practice yesterday, specifically on the box out. The ball hits the floor, and they're able to get a foul on Ostarello.
So a 5-point lead for the Aggies, their biggest of the game so far. Good hands by Ostarello. Just can't quite get it into the hands of Courtney Moses. Alanu from 3. Rattles around the rim.
Adora Alanu is a player for Texas A&M who has really stepped up. You think about their national championship run. You think about Sydney Carter, who's the most outstanding player in the region. You think about Danielle Adams. Adora Alanu just played her role last year, averaged about 18 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, but she stepped up this season to become a scoring threat. She's worked on her face-up game, her jump shot, now able to knock down the 3, take it off of the dribble. She's a player who's embraced a new role and taken it to another level.
That was the first three-pointer attempted or made on the season for Alanu, so she's a perfect 1-1 on the year. She has 7 points in the game, averages 13 on the season. Now Moses loses it. Purdue quickly back though in transition. Croucher a little bit of a stumble. Standish, the freshman, in at the point guard spot. She'll take a shot. Ostarello grabs the rebound. She's playing with a little bit of fire here these last few minutes.
And Sam Ostarello brings a different dynamic to this Purdue team because she does a lot of everything. She's able to rebound. She's defensively able to show she can face up. She can take it off of the dribble. But there, another turnover by the Boilermakers.
Now she's going to have to defend the fast break. And we're going to take a break as well. Texas A&M up 24-16 early here at Purdue.
That continues to win with defense, and they set the tone, but it gives you a whole new confidence level when you come in and you know you have what it takes to win a national championship. Not to mention it helps recruiting.
Just a little bit. Gary Miller talked about the program he's been able to build. And nothing helps that like winning that national championship, that's for sure.
Well, and Kelsey Bone, a great addition to this team. The transfer from South Carolina, averages 19 minutes a game today, has played 4, and he said her challenge is to play hard on every possession. If you're going to play for Gary Blair and you're going to play in this system, you've got to be able to defend for 40 minutes. Shot clock's winding down. Courtney Moses knows it and knocks it down.
Bails out her team from the corner. Courtney Moses for 3. See if that one gets Purdue a little fired up. The crowd making some noise here at Mackey Arena. It's a great crowd to watch this matchup.
And again, Purdue playing terrific defense, forcing tough shots.
Kelsey Bone fades away on her shot, and Antoinette Howard comes up with the rebound for Purdue.
And when we were talking to Sharon Versup, she said, you know, our game plan is going to be very similar to Duke. We want to force tough jump shots, and they did that in that Duke game for most of the game, a period of about 2 or 3 minutes where they just really lost control, and they've got to be able to tighten it up.
Standish quickly drives down the floor to the basket, draws a foul. And coming up after this game, we've got the #1 team in the nation. The Big 12 Big 10 Challenge continues as the Minnesota Gophers host Brittany Griner and the top-ranked Baylor Bears. Coverage starts right after our game on BTN. Eric Collins and Lisa Stone with the call.
And you want to stay tuned to watch Brittany Griner, one of the most exciting players in the game. 6'8", can play down low. Not only does she dominate down low, she's added a face-up game. She can hit the perimeter jump shot. She's just an exciting player to watch. Really has the ability to change the game.
Standish at the line for Texas A&M, Big 12 preseason co-freshman of the year. Makes good on her second free throw attempt. KK Hauser and the Boilermakers trailing by 6. Guyton. No basket, no rebound. In fact, a foul on KK Hauser, her second in the game. Now Gary Blair has both of his point guards on the floor, Standish and Pratcher, with Standish running the point. Skylar Collins took that shot. Can't get it to go. Hauser takes it in herself. And one of the smallest players on the floor, and Standish grabs the rebound. Quick double team on the inside gives Kelsey Bone some problems, and she travels.
Kelsey Bone is going to get double teamed all season long. She can be dominant down low, and Alex Guyton does a good job of getting there quickly. That's one where she's going to dribble it. She's got to use an escape dribble, get it out of there so they can reverse the basketball.
And Stephanie, it can be tough sometimes, can it, as a player, when you're not getting the minutes you want, that maybe you press and force a little bit more when you do come back on the floor.
No question. You press a little bit, you get a little bit of frustration. And she's a player who wants the ball because she can dominate down low. And speaking of dominating, Courtney Moses, 26 points last year against this team. You can see the energy, hits 2 big threes, trying to get the momentum back in the Boilermakers' favor.
8 points in the ballgame now for Courtney Moses, coming off a season-high 17 against Duke. Near turnover for Texas A&M, and they do come up empty on that possession. And they're going to whistle Alex Guyton for that one.
That's one of those situations where Williams is having a little bit of a hard time handling the ball against Pratcher's pressure, so Alex Guyton steps up instead of Williams bringing her to the screen and gets a moving screen.
So Guyton will take a seat on the bench.
Well, as a post player, you're always being told by the coaches, set good screens, but it's also the responsibility of the person using the screen to keep you from getting that foul call.
Kind of works both ways as Tyra White adds to the scoring for the Aggies.
And Tyra Wright has really got to find her offensive flow and her offensive rhythm for this A&M team. She's a player who has a great ability to score, whether it's shooting the three or in the mid-range game, and she's got to find that rhythm.
Jones with the shot fake, gets herself a good look into the basket, but loses the handle. Kelsey Bone up quickly to White. That's an easy one.
Turnovers for scores. Purdue has to be able to give themselves offensive possessions.
Oh, they're going to say this one went off Purdue last. Perhaps a tough break for the Boilermakers, but they've had struggles keeping control of the basketball, and they trail A&M by 7.
State's a team that's struggling up until this point, but a very young team, an inexperienced team that I would expect by Big Ten play is really going to start to turn it around.
Kelsey Bone loses the ball underneath for Texas A&M.
And you can see the frustration on Kelsey Bone's face. Purdue doing a very good job of keeping her uncomfortable on the block.
And Gary Blair sticking with her. She hadn't played much throughout the first half of this first half, but has been in the last few minutes. Hauser, nice dish to Ostarello.
Moving without the basketball. Nice backdoor cut by Hauser. Able to drop it off to Ostarello. Against this pressure defense, you've got to be able to cut backdoor. You've got to be able to move without the basketball, but Brittany Rayburn's got to keep her dribble alive.
Hauser with the steal. She has Rayburn with her. Takes it in herself. draws the foul.
KK Hauser has such a great ability in transition because she's so fast with the basketball. Now she's got to be under control when she goes up for these scores. This is a basket that she could finish and get the and one. Nice job of getting in the passing lane, taking it to the paint. Now finish that play.
She'll have to earn them the hard way. At the free throw line, gets the first one to go down. Carla Gilbert checks back in for Texas A&M. Kelsey Bone will take a seat on the bench.
And despite the fact that Purdue has given up 20 extra possessions between offensive rebounds and turnovers, they are right in this basketball game because of what they're doing on the defensive end. Now, if they can tighten it up offensively, take better care of the basketball, they have an opportunity.
Three-point ball game now. Cratcher back in at the point for Texas A&M. Alanu's shot is short. Chelsea Jones comes up with the rebound. Finds Rayburn, who spent some time on the bench. Moses picks up her dribble. Still can't get away with it. Finally does to Rayburn. She'll take the shot. That is a long two.
Great shot fake. Get the defender up in the air. Good patience by Brittany Rayburn. But you cannot pick up the basketball against a defensive team like Texas A&M. You've got to be able to keep that alive. Your first option's not going to be open.
Texas A&M loses the ball. Everybody hitting the deck for it. And A&M comes up with it. Alanu has the ball in her hands. 4 on the shot clock. They didn't reset it. Tyra White sees it. Oh, my. And hits the shot right at the buzzer. That is some veteran poise to realize exactly where the shot clock was and knock down the shot when it mattered.
And Tyra White has struggled from the three this season, only shooting at 14% after shooting at 39% a season ago. Maybe that's what she needs to get herself going a little bit offensively.
Just a second made three on the year for Tyra White. Now the shot clock winding down at the other end, and Purdue turns it over.
The scramble for the loose ball. Pratcher head up, found Tyra White on the wing, and White understands that she has to let it fly.
Under a minute remaining in the first half now of what has been a very tightly contested ball game between these two teams.
And I think exactly the pace that Purdue wants. They want to keep this game in the low 60s. They've got it right where they want it.
Carter's shot around the rim and out. About a 2 or 3 second difference now between the game clock and the shot clock. Brittany Rayburn's going to take her time. Mike Hall and Vera Jones standing by in our BTN studios. We'll be sending it over to them when we get to the break. But first, let's see what Purdue can do. 6 on the shot clock. Dee Williams is the one who gets to take the shot, and she draws the foul.
And I like the look in the backdoor cut. The defensive pressure. Pratcher turns her head, and Williams moving without the basketball.
Good look from Brittany Rayburn to find the sophomore.
If you're Purdue, you've got to feel really good about where you are. Despite the turnovers and offensive rebounds, you found a way to stay in the ball game with your defense. And at home, you want to be in that position. If you're going to struggle anywhere, you want it to be offensively, because once they can get a little bit of a rhythm going, this crowd will get into it. That gives them that confidence boost.
Well, fans, be sure to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/BTN Women's Hoops. You'll get the latest news. Plus, you can send in questions about this game or anything else that you'd like to mention in the world of Big Ten women's basketball. Maybe Stephanie will answer your question later in the game, so be sure to go to twitter.com/BTN Women's Hoops. People gotten you some good questions this year? They stumped you at all yet?
No stumping yet.
I wouldn't.
It's early in the year.
They've got time. Well, Texas A&M started out this game really strong in the paint, and that's where their greatest advantage is at this point. 16-8 advantage points in the paint for the Aggies. And now Dee Williams on the line for Purdue. She has one more shot to try to pull this within 2. That one around the rim and out. 8 seconds on the clock for Sydney Carter and the Aggies. Carter all the way, gets blocked by Jones.
And Sydney Carter struggled offensively up until this point. Hasn't made a field goal, but understands into the shot clock. She's attacking the paint. Nice defensive effort by Chelsea Jones.
2.2 seconds on the clock. Rayburn did not get it off. And so this is how we will go to break. A 32-29 advantage for the Aggies. And we are back inside Mackey Arena. Gary Blair's defending national champion Texas A&M Aggies with a 3-point lead over Purdue. We do apologize for any technical difficulties. Hopefully we've gotten those ironed out. Defensively, Chelsea Jones picks up where she left off in the first half, just stuffing Kelsey Bone.
And right away you can see Texas A&M wanting to establish Bone down low, but Jones does a good job of playing good defense.
KK Hauser kicks it out to Rayburn. 6 on the shot clock now. Back to Ostarello. She's going to need to hurry. And instead, Purdue starts off with probably the last thing Sharon Versip wants to see, another turnover.
That's a turnover. Understanding where you are, understanding the end of the shot clock. Sam Ostarello has the ability to take it off with the dribble. She's got to look to attack.
Croucher again looks inside to Bone. Not a great pass to Olanu.
And that's the adjustment that A&M's going to make on the double team. The high post dive, weak side defense has to be there to take that away.
Sydney Carter drags that foot and gets called for the walk. Carter, a rough day so far. 0 for 5 in the first half is the senior guard. And now we'll see Courtney Moses bring it up the floor. She didn't really do a lot of this in the first half, did she, Steph?
No, Courtney Moses is one of those players who can slide over and play the one depending upon what Sharon Versip wants to get in their half-court sets. And you can see they're going to utilize her to facilitate, but then she gets it back.
At one point in the first half, Moses scored 8 straight points for the Boilermakers, really started to heat up. And in fact, that led Purdue, along with Brittany Rayburn and KK Hauser, who followed up with 7 points apiece. Olanu. Her shot is short. Chelsea Jones has had a huge role already in this game defensively for Purdue.
Well, and that's exactly why Chelsea Jones is on the floor. She's a little bit limited offensively, doesn't score a whole lot, but she's a defensive presence. She's got great size, and she understands how to defend in the paint.
Little shot fake, buys Hauser some space, but her shot way off the mark, and then Moses flies in and commits the foul.
And right away, Purdue very stagnant on offense. We saw them getting some good looks with the backdoor cuts, moving without the basketball, and now very stagnant, playing around the perimeter, not in attack mode. One of Vera Jones' halftime keys for Purdue offensively was continue to attack the basket, and they have yet to do that early in the second.
Texas A&M hasn't come out of the gate very cleanly either. 10 on the shot clock for Carter. And she gets hammered going into the basket. That foul will go against Sam Ostarello.
Ostarello gets a hand in there and gets a little bit of Sydney Carter's arm. And Carter struggled from the floor today. Now she gets a chance at the free throw line, but Purdue is keeping themselves in this ball game through their defensive effort. A really good job of forcing A&M to get out of an offensive flow and offensive rhythm.
So the free throw line is a very comfortable place for Sydney Carter. Best career free throw percentage in school history at over 82%. Now, that was just a little miscommunication. Hauser, I think, was not ready for the ball to be inbounded yet. And it'll result in another Boilermaker turnover.
Another Boilermaker unforced turnover. And I think that's what's got to frustrate Sharon Versip.
Great take back by KK Hauser. Ostarello, short corner, short shot. Pratcher finds an open lane. Kelsey Bone gets the rebound and gets fouled on the putback.
Well, we'll see the inbound play, and Sam Ostarello looking to get the ball in quickly.
Well, I think she actually wanted Hauser to come take the ball out of bounds.
And it looks right away. You couldn't see her foot if she got out and then came back in, or...
Because the way she kind of had her hand underneath, it almost looked like she was saying, here, you go, you inbound the ball.
And Purdue had done that early in the game. They were a guard inbound against this pressure defense. And sometimes it's just a habit for those 4 players. You're used to inbounding the ball. It's changed for a game. You go out, you take it out automatically without even thinking about it.
So Kelsey Bone knocks down her second free throw. Oh my.
Another turnover.
They're going to call Courtney Moses with the foul. So she picks up 2 quick personal fouls to start the second half. And it gets taken right back by Pratcher. Boy, neither team looking very smooth in the early going. Hauser with a basket, it's a charge.
And KK Hauser has to know right there. She just goes charging into Adora Elanu as Sharon Versip gets a technical, arguing the call.
Things heating up between these 2 teams. We'll take a look back at what happened. There's the little pickpocket by Pratcher. Gets taken away again by Ostarello. And after that was when the charge occurred.
And it was another one of those plays, and we talked earlier in the game about KK Hauser needing to have better control of her body. And she gets it back, and it really attacks the paint. And Elanu is standing there. She didn't move, and Hauser saw her. But that's one of those situations where Hauser just has to be able to have better control of her body. And Sharon Versip arguing the call, getting a technical foul.
So you sense this could be a crucial point in the ball game as momentum has been looking for somewhere to call home. The Aggies currently have it.
It's been looking for it the entire ball game. We really haven't seen any kind of flow or momentum builder. And Texas A&M is a team that really starts to turn it up defensively in the second half. We saw that last year in their national championship run. We've seen it so far this season. They did the same thing to Iowa when they were playing them in the Bahamas. Really turn it up defensively in that second half.
And again, Hauser picked up her dribble and got stuck. That gives the Aggies a fast break opportunity. Great hustle by Sam Ostarello to get down there and knock the ball away.
And one of those reasons that Sam Ostarello is so important to this team, she does the little things. She doesn't stand out when it comes to stats, glaringly obvious, but she does all those little things. She sets good screens, she gets deflections, she makes hustle plays.
And she's a player that started 4 games the last 2 years combined coming into this year. Much bigger role, and she is taking full advantage. Antoinette Howard in the game for Purdue. Quick lead, Ostarello. And she still fights for it. Gets it back to the Boilermakers. Howard for 3. She gets her own rebound and draws the foul. Boy, I tell you what, it hasn't looked pretty for Purdue, but Stephanie, they are fighting hard right now. Antoinette Howard on the line for the Boilermakers, trying to get something started for her team, who finally have a point to show in this second half. Their first 4 possessions, all turnovers up until that last shot. Elanu finds a lane and gets the jumper.
I am just really impressed with the offensive game of Adora Olanu. She has really come into her own offensively and taken advantage of the opportunity that's presented itself to her. And one of the reasons that Texas A&M is in this ball game is because she's scoring buckets. Tyra White has struggled, Sydney Carter struggled, Kelsey Bone has struggled. And you got to credit the Purdue defense for that.
Purdue has the best defense statistically in the Big Ten, ranked 10th nationally, allowing their opponents 48.6 points per game. But now they need to get some offense going. Howard posting up, gets the ball, gets the bucket.
Great look at a mismatch. Sydney Carter on Antoinette Howard. Nice offensive play coming out, good execution. And you can see there's a difference in Courtney Moses this season as opposed to last season running that point. And Sharon Versup talked to us about that. Now she understands why they run a play. She's not just running a play to run the play.
Tyra White runs into a wall of White defenders. Antoinette Howard dishes off at the last minute to Osterello and one.
Antoinette Howard comes in and gives this team a lift off the bench. She did the same thing in the Duke game, able to come in and contribute, and she does it off the dribble in this game. And right away, Chelsea Jones, you can see again defensively, good position, nice block, and Howard able to find Osterello in transition. They're giving this team a lift off the bench.
Chelsea Jones will go to the bench just to kind of get checked out, make sure she's okay. Was clutching her stomach after that block. Osterello gets her own rebound off the free throw. Brittany Rayburn looking for some options, finds one in Howard, who nearly loses it. Under 10 on the shot clock for Howard. Kicks it out to Rayburn. Osterello again. Oh, she finds Alex Guyton with a wide open look, but Guyton not ready for the ball. Quickly down the floor. Tyra White was ready and puts it away. Courtney Moses in the corner. That one goes around and in. Third three-pointer of the game for Courtney Moses.
A good job of attacking. Texas A&M scores. Courtney Moses doesn't let them set their defense. She pushes it in transition.
And it's important to note, you said this early, Moses, the player Gary Blair thought was the key for Purdue.
And Courtney Moses can just do so many different things. Last year was the best thing that could happen to her. She was thrown into the fire. She was forced to play and forced to play through mistakes. Now she understands the game a lot better, and she gives this team a little bit more because she can play multiple positions. She can hit the shot right there, the baseline drive and drift. Brittany Rayburn knows she doesn't have the shot, but a nice follow by Moses and knocks it down.
Courtney Moses had a big game against Texas A&M last year. Off to a good start here. See the score, 100-55. Turnovers were a major problem for Purdue in that game. Courtney Moses had 26 points to lead the Boilermakers. She has 11 in this one.
Well, Courtney Moses has the ability to give this team a lift offensively because she's one of the better three-point shooters on this team, but she can also take it to the rim and find her open teammates. So not only can she score it, but she can lead the scores as well.
Olanu's shot doesn't fall, and Antoinette Howard pulls down the rebound for Purdue. Poston in the game for the Boilermakers, gets the ball on the baseline. Texas A&M continuing to try to go inside, but it just hasn't been pretty when they've gone there. Poston is going to get called for the carry, and that's a turnover that's too easy for Texas A&M to claim.
And another unforced turnover. You have a 2-on-1, an opportunity to get a quick score and continue to cut into this lead. You can see Sharon Versup not happy. 21 Purdue turnovers.
Texas A&M has forced their last two opponents into a season high in turnovers. They've forced just under 25 a game. And the offensive rebounding is going to give Tyra White another chance as she gets fouled. The Aggies have 10 offensive rebounds, make it 11 now in the game. Only 5 points off of those, though.
And Purdue has a small lineup on the floor right now. Antoinette Howard playing the post position. So it's even more imperative when you have this small lineup in, you have to box out. You have to find a body. And what Texas A&M is doing, they're attacking the paint off the dribble. They force a defensive rotation, and that takes you out of rebounding position.
Rebounding a big problem for Purdue in their last game to Duke.
Out-rebounded 50-32, including 24-9 on the offensive boards. And this is a Purdue team that's in a tough stretch right now. They were on the road at Duke. They have A&M here at home, and they come back over the weekend with Notre Dame at home. So they've got to be able to take care of the little things.
Carla Gilbert is going to get whistled for the foul as she goes for that rebound. One of those big post players Gary Blair is happy to have in the lineup at 6'5". Inbounds to Guyton. Guyton will take the shot from the elbow. Her first points of the game. As Purdue has it where it was at halftime. Within 3, the crowd starts to get into it. Cratcher just loses the handle. Keeps her cool and manages to find Tyra White, who gets called for the offensive foul.
And right now, Courtney Moses, the difference maker for the Boilermakers. She's bringing in energy. She's bringing it offensively and defensively, giving her team a lift.
And that is the 4th personal foul for Tyra White. Things heat up here at Mackey. Yeah, it's got a really nice feel on the inside of you. Still get that old traditional feel, but you've got the nice new touches as well. We're working on getting those rocking seats here on press row. Howard shot doesn't fall. Sydney Carter quickly the other way, but a great poke from Courtney Moses. Howard, batted away by Carla Gilbert.
Courtney Moses has been giving this team a lift the entire second half on both ends of the floor. Great hustle, able to get a hand on the ball, and Purdue goes the other way.
Moses from the corner, no good. Alani pulls down the rebound for Texas A&M, which continues to retain its lead, although I don't think Gary Blair would feel his team has played that well here in the second half.
No, I think the Purdue defense has forced A&M away from their game plan. Purdue's doing such a good job of collapsing on the dribble. They're getting a hand in there, getting deflections. A&M not handling the pressure.
Moses kicks it back to KK Hauser. Under 10 on the shot clock for KK. Gives it back to Moses. 3 on the clock. Little scoop will draw the foul and earn a trip to the free throw line. Love this time of year. You've got football finishing up. You've got all kinds of great basketball matchups and some really good early season matchups on both the men's and women's side.
Sure do. This is a Purdue team that, as we talked about, 3 top 10 ranked teams that they play in a row. Texas A&M on a terrific road trip here at Purdue, and then they go to Connecticut, playing in tough environments, each team preparing themselves for conference play.
Cratcher all the way down the floor, no good. Rayburn will slow things down a little bit.
You know, one thing Gary Blair told us about his defense, they don't necessarily want to get turnovers in the press, but they want to force you to play fast in the half-court offense. And I think Purdue is doing that to Texas A&M offensively. They're forcing them to take quick shots, play fast in the half-court offense.
Well, Purdue's going to lose this one out of bounds. Rayburn a little incredulous. And perhaps she has a right to be.
Looks like it could have went right off of Sydney Carter's foot. And we have the benefit of the replay.
We do, absolutely. It's really easy when you just look at the monitor.
It is.
A little more difficult in real time. Christy Bellick in the game for Texas A&M. Making her first appearance. Gilbert walks. And the offensive woes continue for Texas A&M. Purdue has this at a 1-point ball game now.
And you can just feel how Texas A&M is rushing in the half-court offense. They're catching the ball and putting it on the floor first thing. They're not looking inside as they were doing earlier. And the Purdue defensive effort really taking them out of their offensive flow.
Well, this foul is going to go against Purdue. Sam Ostorello off the ball, whistled for the foul.
23 Purdue turnovers and 18 A&M turnovers, so Purdue forcing them as well.
Carter's shot off the mark. Ostorello pulls down the board. Couple empty trips for the Aggies. Give the Boilermakers another chance. Moses looks inside, finds Ostorello. Little turnaround is good.
That's a tough catch for Sam Ostorello. Nice look by Hauser, but she has to go up over one defender and come down in between another one. Carla Gilbert gets there, and Sam Ostorello has the good presence of mind to maintain her body control and turn away from the defender to finish that play.
And with that bucket, the Boilermakers take their first lead since it was 10-8 about 6 minutes into this game. 44-42, Boilermakers in front. And Texas A&M in the midst of what is the two highest ranked opponents they've ever played back-to-back on the road. Between this matchup against Purdue and UConn, have got to find a way to find themselves. And Christy Bellick, the 6'1 junior off the bench, will earn a trip to the free throw line.
And Sydney Carter still off the mark, not able to find her offensive rhythm, but another second chance opportunity. And Bellick's one of those players that Coach Blair said, you know, she came into the preseason probably our most improved player. It has yet to translate into numbers in games, but he's looking for her to really make an impact for this club.
You mentioned Carter, no field goals in the game for the three-year captain. 4 points from the free throw line. Hauser finds Rayburn in the corner. Oh, this place is starting to get crazy now. Brittany Rayburn with a huge three. Her second of the ball game. She's now in double digits, and Purdue has a 5-point lead.
Brittany Rayburn coming off the baseline screen by Sam Ostorello. The play is initially set up by an on-ball screen on the wing. It's a screen the screener, and Brittany Rayburn able to get an open look and knock it down.
So the Boilermakers really finding some momentum here. Rayburn has moved into double digits. Courtney Moses is already there. Sam Ostorello has been playing fantastic. And Rayburn has been the leading scorer for this team each of the last 3 years.
She's second among Big Ten players and active Big Ten players in career points, second to Samantha Perhalis. And right now, encouraging her team.
Well, there was a point earlier in the game where you sensed it could get away from Purdue. Now it's Texas A&M's chance to try to make sure it doesn't get away from them. Carla Gilbert gets the offensive rebound, but travels. Sometimes when it rains, it pours, and it feels like not much is going your way. That is the case for the Aggies right now, as the defending national champs trail Purdue by 5. And we are back with Purdue leading Texas A&M. The Aggies have yet to lose a game this year, but they trail in this one by 5. We're going to go ahead and give our Motel 6 Sixth Player of the Game award to Antoinette Howard, who's been a spark off the bench for the Boilermakers. Just 3 points, but 6 rebounds and 3 assists to put her stamp on this game.
Purdue's holding Texas A&M to 18% from the field in the second half. Have really done a good job of locking down defensively.
Texas A&M just 2 of 11 from the floor in the second half. Oh, great look, baseline for Brittany Rayburn.
And again, moving without the basketball, much more patient offensively. Purdue has been in the second half, moving the ball from side to side, not picking up their dribble and giving in to the pressure defense.
They look patient and confident on offense, and you cannot say that for Texas A&M. They look all out of sorts. Sydney Carter tries to take control and drives to the hoop.
And Sydney Carter just trying to make something happen offensively for A&M. She gets herself an opportunity at the free throw line, which is the only place that A&M's been able to score here in the second half. 6 of 11.
Carter, a perfect 4 of 4 from the line in this game, as you might expect from the Aggies' leading free throw shooter. Good, I'm glad I didn't just jinx her. Thought for sure that was going to happen. She's coming off a season-high 21 points in her last outing against Iowa.
17 of those in the first half.
Yeah, and now just 5 points, and there was my jinx. It came in a little late. She has 5 in the game, all from the free throw line. And that ended a 12-0 run by the Boilermakers. And you see 12-1 the run for Purdue in the last 4 minutes. Moses trying to add to it, can't do it, but Ostarello continues to hit the boards.
And do the little things. Sam Ostarello.
Season high 11 rebounds now for Ostarello in the game, and Sharon Versup's going to call it timeout.
And the momentum changed for Purdue offensively once Courtney Moses went to the point. I think early on in the game, KK Hauser got a little bit out of control. She wasn't able to get her team in an offensive rhythm. Courtney Moses moves to the point. They're a little bit more methodical, able to get that. And Sharon Versup got a technical foul as well, which sometimes motivates your team. And you can see it right there on the charge from Hauser. Sharon Versup arguing the call, and sometimes that's exactly what your team needs to get yourself going. Antoinette Howard comes in, Courtney Moses gives her team a lift, but Purdue got into much more of an offensive flow when Moses took over at that point position.
And going back to the technical, I'm sure you can speak to this. You know, when you see your coach so fired up, you want to go out there and fight for her, don't you?
Well, and you want to know that your coach has your back, too. I mean, it's one of those things where Sharon Versup's fighting for her club, and they responded to that.
Well, a good little run going on for Purdue as they continue to lead Texas A&M. Lead up to 6 now for the Boilermakers. 6 on the shot clock for KK Hauser. Left-handed shot won't go. Texas A&M really getting tested here. Tyra White takes the shot on her own. An offensive rebound to Adora Alanu.
Well, Texas A&M knows that they've got to be able to get second opportunities. Gary Blair told us, he said, you know, we're not going to win ball games on our first shot. It's going to be on our second and third shot. It's going to be creating offense from defense, forcing turnovers, getting layups. And right now, they are continuing to attack the boards and give themselves second chance opportunities. And Purdue has got to continue to find a way to finish that play and stop allowing those second and third opportunities.
Courtney Moses will get a little break for the Boilermakers. Olanu's second shot goes down. Back up to a 5-point lead for Purdue. Chelsea Jones thinking backdoor for Rayburn, thinks better of it. Purdue really getting deep into the shot clock again for the second straight possession. Hauser loses the handle, finds Osterello. With 3 seconds on the shot clock, it will remain Purdue ball. Chantel Poston comes into the game, giving Antoinette Howard a seat on the bench. Quickly they go up to use that great vertical. Poston right off the inbounds. That's taking best advantage of your attributes.
No question. Sharon Versup, the timely substitution, understands it's a low shot clock. Chantel Poston, the most athletic player on this team, just throw it up there and let her go get it.
And then she didn't get it to go down, but she did get the foul, so now she'll have to do the work from the free throw line. Poston misses the first. She came into the game 71% on the year from the stripe. KK Hauser goes to the bench as Courtney Moses returns to the floor for Purdue. Poston does get the second to fall. It's her first point of the game. And the lead is 6.
And now Purdue changing it up on the defensive end, going to the matchup zone.
And what do you need to see here if you're Texas A&M?
Well, I think they have to find a way to attack the paint. Early on, they were attacking the paint not only off the dribble, but with penetrating passes as well. They were working the high-low ball game. Kelsey Bone hasn't had a touch. She's got to be able to get it inside on that double team, get it back out, and move the ball.
Now the shot clock to 4.
And they didn't get past the three-point line. Purdue did a good job of keeping them outside the three.
Carter off the inbounds, has nowhere to go. Whether that was a shot or a pass, it didn't matter. They lost the possession.
Well, Gary Blair told his team yesterday in practice, he said, we're not shooting the ball from the three-point line well, but we're shooting it well from 12 to 15 feet. Get into the paint, attack off of the dribble, and they have yet to really do that in the second half.
Purdue has been tough defensively. 6 on the shot clock now for the Boilermakers. That one didn't hit the rim, but the second shot opportunity by Chelsea Jones.
And every once in a while, you got to get a little bit lucky.
52-44 in favor of the Boilermakers. 4:30 remaining in the game. Texas A&M is on a 12-game winning streak. If you go back to last season, that in jeopardy at the moment as they just cannot get anything to go offensively.
And yesterday in practice, when they were working against the zone, they were still looking to seal the defense with their post players. Get the ball into the post. I don't know when the last time the post touched the ball where they didn't just go get it on an offensive rebound. It's been very perimeter oriented for A&M.
Osterello up on Olanu. Kelsey Bone does find some space inside and gets a bucket as a result of it. Courtney Moses once again with the ball in her hands, finds Osterello. Chelsea Jones knew she was not in good rebounding position there, has to pull away. White from the corner, no good. Moses goes up for the rebound.
Quick shots. Quick shots and no post touches.
Well, Gary Blair lost his jacket a long time ago. Now he's loosening his tie over there on the sideline. Certainly his Aggies feeling the heat. Moses having to work against that shot clock. Texas A&M ball. Well, the Boilermakers so far hanging tough in this one and hanging on to their lead.
They only have 20 now, so 4 points in the paint. Their bigs have to get touches. Kelsey Bone, Carla Gilbert, they've got to convert off of offensive rebounds. They've got to attack the seams of the zone off of the dribble. And Purdue changing it up a little bit defensively again in their matchup zone. They're showing that 1-2-2, but you've got to be able to get high percentage shots.
Well, you've got to give a lot of credit to that Purdue defense. They've done a tremendous job, especially in this half, holding Texas A&M to 20% from the floor.
And keeping this tempo exactly where they want it.
And Sydney Carter's frustrating day continues for Texas A&M as she picks up a little touch foul. That's going to give Courtney Moses a chance to go to the line.
Well, and Sydney Carter understands that her team needs to get some points on the board, and she likes to start that with the defensive effort. But Courtney Moses does such a good job of using her body to protect the ball. And right there, she just uses that little left side of her body and able to get the foul.
One shot, everybody, one.
Moses sinks them both. And the Purdue fans making some noise for their Boilermakers. Carter playing with 4 fouls, by the way. Pulls up for the jumper. Ostarello's career day continues. She has 4 steals and 12 rebounds, both career highs. Shot clock winding down, but a foul is called. Ostarello whistled for the foul.
Ostarello has the ball. Kelsey Bone just takes it away from her. That's where you've got to really be strong, use your pivots.
And now a chance for some free points, really, for Kelsey Bone.
And if you're Purdue, this is not where you want to be. You want to force Texas A&M to run offense, take contested jump shots. They've done such a good job defensively here in the second half. Keep them off of the foul line, but Kelsey Bone not able to convert.
She's now 1 of 2 from the free throw line in this game. Reminder, we've got number 1 Baylor and Minnesota coming up next as the Big 10, Big 12 challenge continues. Purdue breaks the press without much problem, but Moses is going to take her time. Rayburn pulls up for the middle range shot, and it goes down.
And I like the decision by Brittany Rayburn. She probably had the 3 as well, which she shoots it particularly well. But the shot fake, take your 1-2 dribble, get a better high percentage look.
Great composure on the offensive end by Brittany Rayburn, and the answer finally from Kelsey Bone. We haven't seen Texas A&M able to do that much.
Well, I think this is going to be a good challenge for Kelsey Bone. Gary Blair's going to go back to the tape, and he's going to show her that she's kind of just disappeared. You know, she's not working really extremely hard to get good position. She's going to get double teamed all season long. She has to figure out how to get the ball out of the double team. Right here, she gets it and she just goes to work before the double gets there. So she's going to have to learn to adjust to different types of defense. And Purdue's defensive game plan has been spot on. They've executed it perfectly.
Well, Kelsey Bone trying to help fill the shoes of Danielle Adams. Of course, the all Big 12 first team, Final Four most outstanding player for the Aggies last year. Not quite there yet. Not quite up to that status. Is Bone, the transfer from South Carolina, sat out last season. And she is leading the team in scoring and rebounding, but that consistency maybe is still lacking.
That's been the question mark for Kelsey Bone. She's got to play at a high level consistently.
And now she just gets beat on the press and draws the foul.
Well, Chelsea Jones showing she's got a little bit of a handle, and Kelsey Bone knows that she's beat. Going to put her to the foul line. A&M's got to take their chances with Purdue at the foul line, and they have to push the ball and attack the rim.
Both teams in the double bonus now, so Chelsea Jones shooting 2. Seven points in the game for Jones, make it 8 now. 4 in each half. Purdue remaining very composed, Stephanie, in what would be a very big win for this team in this young season.
Well, it's been just a tremendous effort on the defensive end and really had found a rhythm in the second half offensively. But they took care of the areas that were problems. They started boxing out, not allowing those second chance opportunities. But Texas A&M, with their ability to create offense from their defense so quickly, getting opportunities at the foul line, this ball game is far from over.
So 2 shots coming up for Kelsey Bone. She's 2 of 4 from the line in this game. This is the first.
And just not able to take advantage of their opportunities.
Oh for 2 is Bone, and the ball is going the way of the Boilermakers.
Ball security is key right here for Purdue. You must be able to take care of the basketball.
Texas A&M just 11 of 23 from the free throw line. Not taking what's been given. Carter defending Moses, but playing with 4 fouls right now. Great composure by Courtney Moses. Content to just dribble around and let those seconds tick off. Now she drives to the basket, but has nowhere to go. Great defensive stuff there by Christy Bellick. White on the other end. Shot is short. Moses picks up the foul, and Adora Olanu will head to the line.
Well, Courtney Moses taking care of the basketball and then attacking the paint. Great defensive effort by Christy Bellick. I think Courtney Moses has been the key to this ball game, because not necessarily because of how she scores, but because of the way that she controlled the tempo of the basketball game. She can knock down shots, the pure silk player of the game, but she also controlled the tempo, got Purdue into offense.
Yes, we're going to give Courtney Moses the pure silk shave cream performance of the game. And she's been everywhere for her team and has been steady and consistent from start to finish.
And she's been an emotional leader for this team as well. You can see that she's fiery on the defensive end. She gets them going offensively, much more vocal on the floor this season, and that's the growth from freshman year to sophomore year, and it's hard to believe that she still is just a sophomore.
She had a great individual performance against Texas A&M last year, but if the Boilermakers hold on here, you know this one's going to taste even better. Get the victory over the 4th-ranked team in the country. Texas A&M in a position where they need to stop that clock, and so they'll send the Boilermakers to the free throw line. Number 1 Baylor and Minnesota coming up as soon as we finish up here.
We asked Sharon Versup about what this team could take from that Duke game, and she said, you know, we really played pretty well for most of the game. We handled the ball well. We scouted their tendencies well. We executed the game plan. We had about a 2-minute breakdown that really hurt us, and I think this is a Purdue team that's taken that. They've shortened their breakdowns, and they've come in and they've executed the game plan to a T again here today against Texas A&M.
Now the Boilermakers just trying to hang on. 9 points the lead. 40 seconds remain in the game. Texas A&M wants to make something happen. They're going to have to do it in a hurry. Carter. She cannot get the three-pointer to go. Really tough day for Sydney Carter and the Aggies.
Sydney Carter struggled from the floor, has yet to make a field goal. And it's not going to get any easier for Texas A&M. They have to go on the road to another tough environment at Connecticut. But you better believe that Gary Blair is going to go back and he's going to meet with his team. They're going to watch tape and they're going to get better from this game. And I'm sure they're going to work on their free throws.
Yes. And you know, in some ways, coaches' teams never like to lose. But at the same point, I don't think Gary Blair would have set out the season and said, we're going to go undefeated. He probably knew a loss was coming somewhere along the road. In silver lining, you're better early than late.
And he has great respect for this program. He talked to us about, you know, how this program has been consistent and one of the top in the Big Ten, and it's a tough environment. He knows it's a tough environment. They're a well-coached team and came out and executed.
So the Boilermakers will continue to make their way to the free throw line. Chelsea Jones, perfect 4 of 4 from the stripe. Now 5 of 5.
Chelsea Jones has been big here today. And offensively, she's been able to put points on the board. She's knocked down free throws, but her defensive effort on Kelsey Bone has just been tremendous.
In 2010, Purdue knocked down 4th-ranked Ohio State. Now they're looking to take down the 4th-ranked team this year in Texas A&M. Ball gets taken away. Aggies still gonna tic-tac a couple fouls, but the crowd knows this one. They can taste it, and Purdue has worked hard to earn what looks like will be a victory.
They've taken care of the little things. They turned it up defensively. They executed the game plan, gave themselves opportunities, and took advantage of them.
Purdue coming off its first loss of the season. They came into this game at 6-1. We kind of joked with Sharon Versp and said, I guess the team that loses to Duke might come into this game and play well, because last year was Texas A&M who had just lost to Duke, and they came out and just smoked Purdue. Now the Boilermakers take a loss to the Blue Devils and turn it into victory. Final buzzer sounds. What a performance by the Purdue Boilermakers. Sharon Versp and her team should enjoy this one. The final score, 60-51, as they hand Texas A&M its first loss of the season.